In this episode, the FCP Euro Northeast Grand Prix. Indycar was at Toronto, and just wear the hat. Welcome to episode 93 of the We're Auto Show. What's up, Derek?
Mr. Michael Rao, there were some racing shenanigans that happened over the weekend.
It's another weekend of good racing. It wasn't F1, but there was some good racing that happened this past weekend.
Yes, there will be F1 next weekend. But this weekend, there was an IMSA race.
Yes, there was.
A GT-only IMSA race.
Yes, which I think was great.
Do you like that?
I do.
Do you like the
I
GT
love
only?
GT cars.
They do focus on them more.
Yes, because when the DPIs are there and the LMP2s and 3s and all them, the GT cars are overshadowed.
They really are.
And then you don't get to see the battles in the GT classes.
Right. This time, we got to see the battles.
Oh my God, did we see battles?
So they were at Lime Rock Park.
Yep.
And this was only GT Pro and GT AM.
GTD Pro and GTD.
Yeah, yes, sorry. Man,
However they
they're
describe
naming conventions. Terrible. But some super entertaining battles.
Yep.
What did you see?
Oh, man. I missed the start by about 20 minutes, but I did get to see the rest of the race. And, it was lovely. It was so lovely. There was just battles everywhere.
The BMWs did have some issues.
Yeah, they died.
They died.
Well, you know, it's funny. You say that, but there was one BMW in particular that didn't have issues.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll get to that later.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But it was a great race to watch.
Yes. I believe that there was a caution as well, which is fantastic. And the caution did come out at a good timing.
It was about 20-ish minutes left in the race.
Did you see the way the caution came out?
Yeah. The purple Acura stuffed it.
Yeah.
On his own.
He did. But he wedged himself, under the tires.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
He just... What corner was it? Was the one coming up over the hill?
No, it was the final corner.
So it's coming down the hill.
Coming down the hill. Yeah.
Coming down the hill, that right turn, which is pretty much all right turns. But he just lost it. And he just wedged himself completely underneath the tire wall.
It was like a screwdriver going between two plastic pieces.
Yeah. And you can see the in-car, he's just like, well, what the hell do I do with this? Okay. Can someone come pull me out, please? Because I can't drive this out of here.
He had to get out of the car on the other side, so he had to climb over all the scaffolding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was pretty funny.
It was.
I'm pretty sure I have stuffed it on that corner on iRacing.
Many, many times.
Oh, yeah.
You're hauling it down the hill.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
But that caution that came out at the perfect time. We've talked about this. You've brought this up many times.
So many times.
Racing should have a mandatory yellow and caution within 10 to 20 minutes left every single race.
Mm-hmm.
Get them all bunched back up and get it exciting again.
Mm-hmm.
And boy, did it get exciting again.
It was perfect.
Oh, my God. As soon as they went green again, just battles everywhere. Just bump, grind, bump, grind. Everyone was getting tangled. There was the Lexus getting tangled with, I don't know, the Lambo or the Aston or the Porsche, someone.
Right.
And then the Lexus and GTD, not GTD Pro, but GTD, had its hood, it was just enough contact to break one of the clips to the entire right front corner and hood just popped up. He's like, well, I can't see shit, so I'm going to go pit and fix this, which ruined his race.
Yep.
And then on the last lap, I know my favorite Porsche, the right racing Porsche, that got absolutely punted by, was it WeatherTech? It may have been WeatherTech. I
think it might have been.
It was just, okay, Porsche, you are my brake pedal. I will not use mine. I will use you as a brake pedal.
Goodbye.
And then there was just some incredible drama on literally the final straight.
Yes.
Oh.
The final corner of the last lap. We had people running out of fuel, cars jinking left and right to avoid crashes.
It was
magic.
So there's a Mercedes that was leading the GTD field. And the last corner of the last lap, the last second of the race, literally ran out of fuel inches from the line, it seemed.
Yep.
Which caused him to be going obnoxiously slow, which means the entire GTD field coming up behind him was dodge, duck, dip diving, and dodging to get around him. And a car that was in fourth managed to then take the win.
Dang.
So the BMW driven by Madison Snow and Brian Sellers, was able to make the most of this, I guess, roadworks situation happening in front of them with the stopped car. And they went, okay, little left, little right, here we go, and away they go, and they took the win.
Crazy.
Could you imagine having your race die within walking distance of the finish line?
The highs and the lows of motorsports.
Holy shit, are they high, and holy shit, are they low?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
But to give you some results of the race, the GTD Pro, third place, so the bottom step of the podium, was taken by a Lexus, driven by Jack Hawksworth and Ben Barnico. Then the second place was an Aston Martin Vantage, driven by Ross Gunn and Alex Riberas. And the first place overall winner and the winner of GTD Pro is an incredible car. The FAF Porsche, the number 9, driven by Matthew Campbell and Mathieu Gemini. Mm-hmm. And I love that car. That's such a cool plaid car. I still love that livery.
It's fantastic.
But yeah, Porsche takes the win. Yes, and then in GTD, so the GTD Pro-Am field, that was taken the win by Brian Sellers and Madison Snow in the BMW. The only BMW that didn't have problems in the race. Every other BMW died. Mm-hmm. Then the second step was an Aston. So Aston took second in GTD and GTD Pro. The Aston that took second in GTD Pro-Am was Roman De Angelis and Maxime Martin. And then we had the third step of the podium. So third place in GTD was a Lamborghini, driven by Robert McGinnis and Jeff Westphal. Wow.
IMSA Racing.
Wow.
Can't go wrong.
Wow, that was exciting.
Yeah. I'm not sure if I want them to add prototypes or not in this.
No.
It would promote more passing and more chaos.
But it's already such a small track.
I know.
Where do you put them?
Well, that's the fun of it.
Well, I agree with you. But then where do you see the GTD battles? Because you won't see the GTD battles.
I know, that's the problem.
Just saying.
I think the IMSA team could do better at not watching the prototypes all the time. Mm-hmm. And they try to bounce around as best they can. But if there is a battle for first, second, or third, they just focus on that. Yeah, and that's it.
I agree.
And, there's no other race happening, basically.
That sounds like a segment that we have not done in a while. Sounds like it grinds my gears.
Yeah.
What grinds my gears is when they only focus on the DPI battles.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree. So that was the FCP Euro Lime Rock Park. I believe it was the FCP Euro Grand Prix, I think is what they called it.
I think so.
Something like that. But yeah, that was Lime Rock Park this past weekend. Great race to watch. Lots of different manufacturers. You had Corvette, Lexus, Porsche, Lamborghini, BMW, Mercedes, Acura, all of them. It's just great.
Yep. Can't go wrong.
Yes, but there was another race. What was the other race that happened this past weekend?
There was actually an Indycar race.
Indy!
And they were on the streets of Toronto.
Interesting.
Yeah. I don't believe this is the first time they've raced there, but I believe it's the first time that they're back since COVID.
Yes, because Canada didn't do anything. They just...
No, it exploded.
Canada stopped doing everything with COVID.
Yes. Now, what makes this race kind of interesting is actually the pre-race stuff. Before the race, there were a whole bunch of shenanigans that went on with Alex Palou. Have you heard of this?
You and I briefly chatted about this, but I didn't really hear anything about this because I was just not paying attention to it.
Okay, let me do my best to explain what's going on here. Alex Palou races with Chip Ganassi. The team of Chip Ganassi released a press statement, and they said, "We're quoting Alex Palou. He loves racing here. He'll be back here next year." And then within the hour, Alex Palou came out with his own social media statement that said, "I didn't say that. I don't want to be here anymore. Basically, F all y'all."
Oh, yeah. Shit.
And from that point on, shit hit the fan.
That's like, it'd be like me texting you like, "Hey, I'm so excited for you to come over for dinner tonight." And you're like, what are you talking about? we never made these plans here, dude. What? I don't know what you're talking about here, brother.
Yeah. So not the best look for him. People were actually suspecting that he wouldn't show up and wouldn't drive, which was kind of interesting. But he did. He was there, and he raced, and I think he finished in the top 10.
Really?
Which is kind of interesting as well.
I'm looking at the results. He finished 6th.
Yeah, he did fairly well. Now, a little bit more drama on top of that. Apparently, Alex Palou is trying to get in talks, or already is in talks, with McLaren's F1 team to be a test driver with Colton Herta, who is another up-and-coming driver.
I remember a couple of weeks ago, McLaren F1 was working with Colton Herta, right?
Yes.
And Colton Herta was like blitzing Danny Ricciardo's lap times. And I remember there was drama there because Danny Ricciardo was put in an awkward spot like, hey, is Colton Herta your replacement? And he's like, hey, no. How about you do piss off? And then he smiled and laughed because that's just how Ricciardo does things.
Yes. But F1 is a wild sport. And sometimes at the end of the year, somebody can just get a boot. I would not be surprised if Ricciardo just got the boot.
Yes, because he's been driving like dog shit this year.
Hasn't been good. No. So, will Ricciardo be replaced by Colton Herta or Alex Palou? And I guess that there's another IndyCar driver, Award. I forgot his first name. Pato Award is also in the hunt for that seat in F1.
Pato Award already drives for McLaren in Indy, I believe.
Yes.
Whew.
Interesting. It seems like Alex Palou has burned the bridge with Chip Ganassi.
I would say so. That sounds kind of like some bridge burning.
Now, when he was interviewed after the race and before the race, he said this is strictly a business thing, and this is just negotiation talk, and he wasn't personally upset at the teams. But I find that very hard to believe. Very hard.
The tone from his social media quote sounds a little bit like he was not... If he's not upset, he's not happy with him.
And that's also a very unprofessional way to go about explaining that to everyone.
Yes, but I do like that, though. I like that he just came out and said it.
From an entertainment spectate, it's great. But if you are McLaren or any other team looking at that, you go.
I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole.
No,
from them.
What? Heck no. The heck?
But it does look like fun. I mean, from here, it looks like someone's just like, to hell with it. I'm going to do what I want to do.
If it was strictly a business decision, I don't think that's a good decision. Nor a good way to do it.
I'm with you.
Yes. Anyway, the racing that was actually at the streets of Toronto was okay. It was IndyCar. It was super bumpy. It's a quick track, narrow walls. Kind of reminds me of the streets of St. Pete, but faster. More like Nashville, which was chaos.
Nashville's coming back in the next couple of weeks.
I think so.
I think like August, the second week of August or something like that.
Great. More bumps and more chaos.
God, that was such a shit show. God, that was horrible.
But do you have the results of who won? I believe it was Will Power.
Dude, you're wrong.
Oh, sorry. Never mind.
It was actually Scott Dixon.
That's who it was.
The Chip Ganassi racing car. Followed by the other guy that's being poached by McLaren, Colton Herta. Mm-hmm. And then it was Felix Rosenqvist. Those are the top three.
Mm-hmm.
So, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I remember I had a conversation with my dad over the past weekend here. And he posed a good question to me. If you took the current F1 drivers and stuck them in IndyCar, who comes out on top?
Yeah.
I
don't know. But I like that idea.
I like that idea a lot.
Because that's debatably who's the best driver.
Yep.
Not who's the best team.
Yep.
Right.
I kind of think it would be maybe Russell, Leclerc, and Verstappen?
Lando. I think Lando because he has sim racing experience. Or a lot of sim racing.
I think Schumacher, just because I believe.
Oh, boy.
I believe.
You know what?
No. You know who's going to win it?
Who?
Goat Tiffy. Latifi.
Never forget Romain Grosjean.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
Though he already is in Indy. So I think he would win.
He does know the car quite a bit better.
But he does crash the car. So.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's all I got for you on Indy.
Yep. Overall, entertaining race, but the real entertainment was the spice beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, moving on to something quite comical. So, there was a driver overseas at a WRC, so World Rally Championship race. Rally drivers, they're all just crazy, right?
You have to be.
I think you have to be clinically insane to race
Yes.
rally. But, when you win a race, what does that closing ceremony typically look like?
The podium.
The podium, yeah. And on the podium, you're given champagne.
Yeah.
And you're also given a hat.
You're always given the hat, the sponsor hat.
Did you know that you're actually, obligated to wear the hat? You actually don't have a choice.
I never really questioned it, but I guess it makes sense.
I thought it was just kind of like the thing that you do. Like, yay, I won. But I didn't realize there were penalties for not actually wearing the hat.
No, because if you watch when they put on the hats, they're always blatant sponsor hats.
Well, yes, but I didn't realize there was actual penalties for not wearing it.
I didn't know that, but it makes sense.
So apparently there's a driver that was just fined for not wearing his celebration hat after placing third.
Yikes.
So there's this Estonian driver. His name is Ott Tanak. I think that's how you say it. But he was fined over $4,000. $4,000 for not wearing a hat.
Eek.
I didn't know the penalty was so steep for not wearing a hat.
I didn't know that either. He does look quite angry in his photo.
He doesn't look very happy.
No.
That's because he's driving a Hyundai. Sorry. Couldn't resist. I couldn't resist. I could not resist. Right. But yeah,
I get it. I actually do get why this happens.
I get it, but I didn't know it was actually you're really going to get fined. I thought you'd get a little slap on the wrist hey, bro, don't forget to wear the hat. But not $4,000 fine for not wearing the hat.
How much do you think Pirelli paid the WRC to wear their hats on every podium?
True. I see where you're going with that.
Do you think it's $100K? Do you think it's $500,000?
Probably 100 to 150,000 is my guess.
So to him not wearing the hat, WRC has to set the precedent. If they said we're going to slap you on the wrist, what do you think all the drivers are going to do?
Well, they'll probably just not wear a hat then, I suppose.
Mm-hmm. You got to enforce the law.
You're right, but I didn't know it was a $4,000 penalty.
Mm-hmm. It makes sense.
It does.
It's kind of goofy, honestly. Just wear the hat.
Well, I was scrolling through. I was like, wait a minute. Does that say what I think it says? It says $4,000. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Well, wear the hat if you're going to win a race. How about that?
You can keep it, too.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
I don't want a champagne-soaked, sweaty, pearly hat.
Angry Estonian.
Yes,
crazy.
Looks like it. But yeah, that's all I got for the racing. Do you got anything else?
Other than I believe that we're going to have F1 this upcoming weekend. I think it's at Paul Ricard.
Or is it... hold on.
I believe it's Paul Ricard.
I don't know if it's Paul Ricard.
And I think that this is the first race that we're going to get the crackdown on the flexible floors.
It's Le Castellet. Oh, yeah, no, it is Paul Ricard.
Yeah.
That's the town, Le
Right.
Castellet.
So it will be the first time that they crack down on the Flexi 4s. We'll see if that hurts Red Bull and Ferrari in the porpoising action, because that's how they've solved their porpoising problem, from what I know. Should be entertaining.
We're going to see.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's all I got for you. So that's going to wrap us up for episode 93. Thanks so much for watching and listening. If you're watching on YouTube, please do make sure you hit the subscribe button and leave us a thumbs up and a comment on the video. And if you're watching or listening on audio, please do leave us a 5-star rating and a review on your platform of choice. While you're at it, don't forget to follow us on social. Facebook is WeAreAuto, Instagram is WeAreAuto_, YouTube is WeAreAuto, and our website is weareauto.io. So again, thanks so much. We'll catch you guys in the next one.
Peace.